Hey guys, my name's Jason. I'm the co-founder of Vanna Adventure Vans, and today I'm going to be showing you around Van Diesel, our EK5. This van does come with swivel seats. So to work these swivel seats, you're going to want to make sure that this seat is forward, and to do that there is a control on the door right here. So you can push this back here to move the seat back. You can also push it forward, move it forward. And then to release the seat, there's going to be a lever on the side of the seat. So both levers for each seat are going to be on the inside here, these two red ones. You're just going to move it towards the back until it goes free. Just make sure that the back side here is clearing this B pillar here, as well as the front clearing the cup holders so that it will freely swivel. Once you get in the position you like, then you can use the controls on the door again to move it back into a more open, spacious position. So the first thing you're going to notice as you walk inside is going to be the stainless steel fridge on the side here. So to open this up, we do have a rug that comes with. It does get in the way every once in a while, so sometimes it's nice to roll it back. You can, drawers open on the bottom, lots of space on the inside. There's another shelf right down here that you can utilize, and then there's also a freezer for the top for ice cream or anything frozen you want to bring with. Right on top of that is going to be the pull-out countertop extension, so you have more room for cooking and prepping food. If you are in colder temps and you plan on using the heater, you're going to want to make sure you don't store any bags in front of this black vent up here. So that's where the heater is located. So if you put any bags in front of there, it can restrict airflow, could potentially cause some issues with the heater. So just making sure that that is open and clear will keep you guys warm. All right, so now I'll show you guys how the pop top works. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open these first clips. So they're little silver ones with a push tab in it. Just push in with your thumb and they'll come open. Do that on both sides. Next step is you're going to take this butterfly latch, you're going to pull it down, and you're going to want to rotate it 180 degrees so that this frees up. Then you want to do the same on the opposite side. And then once that's free, this is able to go up at this point now. So what I like to do sometimes, since I'm not the tallest person ever, but you can actually take both handles, step up on the seat. Now, make sure both latches are undone. And push it up. And then once you have that popped open, you can then grab the ladder that's behind the passenger seat here. And that's just clipped in. And usually the best place that we find to put this ladder is right up in the front. And then you just push up the top pieces. Just like that. And then you're ready for sleeping in the pop top. Another few features about up here is it does have a light switch. So there are 360-degree rope lights all the way around the side. So this will turn the switch on for the lights. And then right up in the top up here, there is a remote, so you can change the color of the lights if you want. And you're ready to put that pop top back down. There's these tabs on the side of the ladder here. Once you push those in, it'll free up the telescopic ladder and allow everything to come back down. And it just goes right back behind and then cinches back tight. So to put the pop top back down then, what you want to do is grab both of these black straps here and then slowly pull it down. And then as you get about halfway, you'll want to step up and pull in the sides here so they don't pinch out the sides. And as it comes down, you'll just want to hold the top so it doesn't slam down. And then once it's down here, you can see all this fabric and materials coming out. So you just want to be sure you tuck all that back in. And you pull it down with the lever, get the butterfly latch back in, and then rotate it 180 degrees again. And then once that's done, you can put the safety strap back in. And these I usually just tuck up like so they don't get in the way. And I'll repeat the other side. You'll notice there's this Dometic Mini Hecky Skylight. To open that up, there's just a little button right here that you can push. And once that comes down, you'll see this handle come. And you can get it pretty much all the way up if you need it all the way up, or there's some grooves right inside here. You can slide it up and in and lock, or if you want it all the way shut again, all the way up past that button till it locks in, you're good to go. It also has a shade in here for nighttime, as well as a bug screen. So if you want to have it open, you're outside in the summertime, you don't want bugs coming in. Right behind your driver's seat here is going to be the fire extinguisher. So it's not your typical everyday normal fire extinguisher that you'd see in a house, but this one is flared. So you can take this cap off here. There's a little striker spot there. And then this whole base removes here. There's a little flip piece on top. You strike that, and then this will go for about 10 minutes. So hopefully you never have to use this, but in case of an emergency, it's going to be right behind your driver's seat again here. And there's also instructions on the side for how to use it. And then Van Diesel also comes with all of the window covers that are needed. So they're all magnetic, they're all labeled, and they're all going to be right inside this bag up top here. So you can take them out and they just go right up on top of the window there. And then once you're ready to take them off, put them back in the bag. So another great thing about Van Diesel is you can have the option of getting all the towels and bedding with the van when you rent it out, or you can choose to opt out of it if you want to bring your own. We also provide you with all the utensils you need, all the silverware, everything you need for cooking, and then also have more utensils as well as a flashlight, a lighter for a grill, a little pocket knife, and then as well as the charger right here for the Laveo dry flush toilet, which I'll show you how to use in a second here. And at the base here, you can see we have all of our plates, as well as a strainer, some cups, and some bowls. All right, so stepping back a little bit more now, we're gonna go into the shower area. So this is gonna work a lot similar, just like it would at home. Down at the bottom here is what is called the Laveo dry flush toilet. So it's got a Mylar bag on the inside, and the way that this works is just a little power switch there. So you'd use it, once you're done, you hit this power button here, everything will shrivel up, shrink up, and then push itself down and open a new cavity. And this is all cartridge-based system. So each one comes with around 20 cartridges, and we also include another one for your rental. And the way to remove it is take this cover off, and then you can also pull this cartridge out here, and it's just lined in the bottom here with a garbage bag around it. So when you're done with it, you can stick it in the garbage bag, tie it up, throw it away. And then there's a little cardboard piece at the base here that is a octagon shape. So you just line this up with the bottom plastic housing here, line the bag around it, sure that cardboard piece is all the way at the base. And then there's these two little tabs at the top of the cartridge here, and you want that to be towards the back hinges of the toilet lid. And this cover piece just goes right back on. You can open it up, and then it's ready for use. And with the shower up here, the way this works is this is going to be your furthest most right off position. And then as you go up and rotate it counterclockwise, it's going to be on the cold side. And then on this left side over here will be the hot. So you can dial it in between hot and cold depending on your comfortability. And the shower head is removable, so it does make it a lot easier. And then how we close the doors in this is with this Nautilus retractable door. So this will just slide shut. There's a little tongue and a little groove on the door itself, and that just snaps into place. So that will latch in, and then to undo it, all you have to do is from the outside here, push it inwards so it undoes the latch there, or if you're on the inside, you pull it, and then make sure you're holding onto this so it doesn't slam all the way shut, because it is on a retractable spring. And it will also self-squeegee all the water off and everything, so you won't have to worry about that. And then right back here is going to be the shower light. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how the power system works, as well as the hot water system and how the AC works. So starting at the top right up here, this is what's called the digital multi-control. All that pretty much does is turn the inverter on, which is what converts the lower voltage batteries that are in the back to your higher voltage that you typically have in your house. like these outlets down here. So having this on is going to allow you to use all of the outlets, and it's also going to allow you to charge the battery. So it doesn't only convert power from the batteries to the outlets, but once you plug into shore power with the provided cable that we'll send you with, it will recharge those batteries as well. And this little current limit switch on the side here is going to be where you want to set the amperage for the breaker that you're plugging into. So say if you're at a RV campground and you are at an outlet and it says 20 on it on the breaker for that outlet, then you can set this to 20. And then if you notice that for any reason that breaker outside is tripping, then you can lower this number and adjust it as needed so that you aren't going to be without shore power charge. Right below that, this is the Servo Touch 50 display. This is kind of your main hub for the power. So as you can see here, starting at the top left, there's AC input. So whenever you're plugged into shore power, you'll see your wattage coming there. Right now we aren't on shore, completely off-grid power right now. Right below that is AC loads. So because we have the inverter in the on position, we're using AC loads, which is the outlets and some other components in the power box. Below there is the DC system. So you can see how it's a negative number right there. That's because we're out in the sun right now and getting a charge. So we're actually getting negative 85 watts to the battery, which means we're charging. When that shows a positive number, it means we're using power. So if I were to turn on, say, the microwave or turn on any more lights or anything like that, that's where we would see that number go positive. Right in the middle here is the battery indicator. So that's going to show the state of charge of the battery. So right now we're at 100%. Because we're there, the solar is not going to be charging anything. So it's going to show that it's at idle. Once it starts going down, then either the secondary alternator on here or the solar or shore power can charge up those batteries again. And then at the top right up here, you can see the fresh water tank status level. So that's at 100% right now. It's fully filled. That's a 20-gallon onboard water tank that you'll have of fresh water. And then underneath the van is a wastewater tank that has 9 gallons. And then once that reaches 90% capacity, that's when an alarm on this display will start going off. And as soon as you dump that gray tank and you hit the check mark on here, that alarm will stop for you. Right below that is going to be the Eberspacher controller for both the air heat and the water heat. So on here, you just tap it, click it in for one time, that will wake up the display. And then it's got a dial on here that you can scroll back and forth. First one you'll see is the air heater. So that's going to turn on our air heat, and water heater will turn on the on-demand hot water system. So I'll show you how to turn on the air heat. First thing is want to select it, and then you'll see a heating icon at the top. It's got the squiggly lines going up with the line at the bottom. Bottom left of this display is going to be your status indicator of what the heater is at right now. So it's showing the heater's currently off, and we're getting a reading of 64 degrees right now off the thermistor inside the controller. So to turn it on, we're going to make sure that heating symbol is blinking. We'll select it, and this is where you set your desired temperature. So say we want it 75 in here, and then you can also set a time limit. For the most part, I usually leave it on this infinity symbol, or you can adjust it to a certain time that you'd want to leave it running for. If you do leave it on this infinity symbol, you just want to make sure that you turn the heater back off. I'll show you how we can do that as well. So after you select that time, it'll show that the indicator it's on infinite time as well as being on. There's also a red LED that will show that the heater's running, and then will also show your current air temperature at the bottom right of the display. And to turn it back off, say we're at the home menu again, we want to select air heater that we're going to turn off. We're going to select we want to turn off the heating icon, and then it'll flash that you want it turned off. Once you select off, then it'll show now that the heater is going to be in the off state. And very similar with the water heater, when you scroll over to number 2, select that, it's going to have that same heating indicator. However, with this one, it's just only going to have a time limit. So you can set a time limit for how long you want the hot water to go for. Well, you can select that, and then it'll automatically start heating up it'll start heating up the coolant tank for your hot water heater. And then to turn this off, same thing. Make sure you're on the heating icon that's blinking. Select that you want it off, and then the red light will go away and show the status of being off. And right below that we have all of our main control switches. So you're going to have a 3-way house light switch here that goes either all the way up or middle or all the way down. One thing you just want to be sure is that you don't leave them in the middle position, because there's also another house light switch at the back of the van, and if it's in the middle position, then the house light switch in the rear won't work. So you want to make sure that they're either all the way up or all the way down. So same thing with the accent lights. The under cab is just a single switch, so you can turn that off just with one switch. Right next to here is our main disconnect. This isn't something that you guys will have to worry about. If for any reason you do need to turn off the power, you can always feel free to reach out to me and I can guide you through it. So this is the LT extender. This is going to be helpful for when you're in areas of low cell coverage. If you are in an area where there is no cell coverage, it isn't going to make it appear, but if you say only have 1 bar, it'll help you get up to like 3 or 4 bars. So to turn that on, you can use the switch there. And then for any time you're going to be using either the shower or the sink or the rear shower out the back, you'll want to have this water pump on here. And then at the top left up here is the remote for the air conditioner. So the air conditioner is actually located on top of that upper bunk up there. And to use it, there's the on-off switch here. There's a light on the display on the unit itself. Once you turn it on, you can either go to an eco mode or a powerful mode. And then to adjust the temperature, you use the minus and the plus. And then to turn the fan speed up and down are going to be those arrows there. And then that just velcros right back up here so it doesn't get lost. There's a contour microwave right up here. And to be sure that this will work for you guys, you want to make sure first that this inverter is in the on position. If this is turned off, the microwave won't work. So you just want to make sure this is on before you use the microwave. Stepping back here, there's going to be some more cups. There's also oil and stuff that we send with, coffee packets, salt and pepper, wet ones. There's also a French press in here, as well as some paper towels, soap, and a sponge. So a little bit of everything that you would need for working at the kitchen. So then down below here is where the induction cooktop is going to be. So this is all just set inside the door here. So to get it out, it just slides up and out. So you can take the feet here, slide it up. Once it gets up here, you can get a better handle on it. And that you can either set up top up here and plug in here, or if you're at a campground and you want to be outside, you can put it out on a table outside and use it out there. So there's kind of a number of different places you can put this to make it as easy as possible for you guys while you're cooking. And then to put it back, it just slides easily back inside these bamboo cleats. And then just carefully guide it back down into position. Alright, so then down here, other than the cooktop, you're also going to have a fly swatter that's hanging up here. There's also some spray for cleaning. There's a product down here called pea powder, so you can actually use this stuff in the toilet. It's going to gel it up so that you can use the cartridge for multiple uses rather than having to flush after every use. So this can be really handy for saving on flushes. And then also down here are going to be all the pots and pans. The slick thing with these is they all kind of stow away really easily, and then when you're ready to use them, it has this handle that you can slide on the side and clip in place. And then you can also pinch it in on each side and then take it off to use on another pot. And a few other things that are down here are going to be the toilet paper, as well as a small little broom and a garbage can. So now moving more towards the back here, I'll show you how this bed control works. So there is a keyed system on here. So if you got kids that want to play with this when you're not necessarily watching them at that moment, you can turn this off when you're ready to use it. You can put the key in here. Using the control down here will either lift the bed up or down. So as you can see here, now the bed's in the down position. So this is a full-size mattress up top here. And then you can also put this little step down, which is going to help with getting up inside. So you can step out and up and inside. And when you're not using the step, you can fold it back away. And then now that I have the bed down, you can also see the AC. So in the summertime, when you're going to want to use that AC, you want to make sure you have the bed down so that you can get proper airflow throughout the van. And then to put the bed back, just make sure you don't have anything up on top here. There isn't anything hard or anything that can break. You can have a few pillows up here, but nothing a little too tall. And you can just lift it back up into place. And then for the lower bed here, it's going to be either in this dinette position here, or you can fold it down into a bed position. So down below here are two latches. So on this first pedestal, you will undo these ones. And then there's also two on the rear, and it's usually easier with two people to push it down. But once you get these opened up, you can then push it down on this side and the other side, and that will get the bed down into its lowest position. And once it's down there, then you can take out this leaf here. And this actually goes right in between the front space here. So this will fold out. So when you're setting this down, you just want to make sure that it falls right on top of these cleats. And then once the table is in the downward position, you can pull these cushions inward, and then the backrests fold down flat and then turn into a bed system. And when you're done using it, this comes right back out, folds back. Just stows away right behind here. So another thing back in the dinette area back here, when you're using the beds, either down below or up top, you're going to have these adjustable reading lights. So they do have a little touch button on the side here, and it's got 3 different brightnesses. There's the first one, second, and third, and then on the fourth is a red light for nighttime use, and then the last one will turn off the light. And it also has a USB charger on here as well. And then you also have outlets back here for charging devices or anything you may need. All right, so then as you can see in the rear back here, on this driver's side is where the power system is. So it's got a light on here. It's mainly for maintenance on the use on the inside, so you shouldn't have to worry about this switch. You do have an exterior outlet here if you need to use anything outside of the van off the back. On this passenger side is where the water system is. So at first you will have a pull-out exterior shower. It's about a 6-foot length on this. So you can use it for hosing off your shoes or anything muddy, or if you do want to use it for a rear shower as well, instead of using the smaller one on the inside. And then with this rear shower, there's also a valve on here. And you can see on here, it shows the minimum side, or the lower side is going to be the off position. That will be the on position. And then when you rotate it, either goes hot to the right or cold to the left. And then to turn it back off, you slide it back to the left. And then this will stow back inside, fold down. And then if you ever need to fill the water tank, when you're out, you can use this fresh water hose right here. It's stowed in the back. It does stretch out to about 25 feet in length. So you just want to make sure you're under 25 feet away from your water source. So the first thing you're going to want to do, which I typically do, is I will disconnect this right here. This is a quick connect system. And to do that, all I did was pull this back and then pull it out. And I'm going to do the other side. So the first thing you're going to want to do with this is disconnect the quick connect on near the springy area, and near the spring area I should say. And you can pull down, pull back, that will disconnect. And then from here, you can screw this off and then put it back on. Well, you can screw it on your faucet wherever you're gonna be at, and then put this back on. So say you're connected on that one side, then coming to the inside, you can hold this outer piece in place and then screw the inner piece so that you can get it loose. So when it's going counterclockwise like this, we'll be loosening it. And then to tighten it, you can hold this in place and then just spin this fitting until you get it tight. And you should be good once it's tight. So then you can see that it does have the RV water filter right here. It does have flow indications, so you're going to make sure that the flow is going this way into the tank. So this is going to filter all the water going inside, and then once it's in the tank, or as it's going into the tank, it also has a UV filter in there that will help filter out any of those bacteria or viruses that could be present in the water. So I'm just doing everything in reverse. So once that's off now, you can go back to the faucet where you were on. You can take that piece off again. And just screw it back on nice, easy. And then I put everything back together like this, so if there's water on the inside, it's not going to drip out and get all over the van. And this cap will go back on. Spinning it counterclockwise. And this will just stow right back away. So this is going to be your shore power cable that is stowed right on the back door of the driver's side. And it comes with this really long 50-foot yellow extension cord with a GFI on it for water protection. And it also has this alligator type locking mechanism. So I'll show you how this works. So this is going to be your shore inlet on the back driver's side of the van. You'll just lift this up. And then you want to make sure that the light on top of this is in the upward position. And I always line up the bottom right on this side with this bottom one here. And once you line up everything, it slides in. And you give it a little turn to the right, and then it'll lock itself in so it doesn't come out. Then you can put that down, and then at nighttime or in the daytime, if you cover it with your hand, you'll see a little blue light on there. So you just want to make sure the blue light on top of there is lit up. And then to take it off, you pinch the two together, rotate it back to the left, and then pull it back out. The last thing I'll be showing you guys is the gray water tank switch. So located under the driver's seat, when you're wanting to empty it, you can go from the closed position here to open, and that will open the tank so that you can drain out the 9 gallons of wastewater in there. And then to close it back up, when you're getting ready to go again, you put it back in that upward position. So as you can see there, some water came out from the tank. You just want to make sure that when you are using the shower or the sink that you're not putting anything environmentally harmful down the drain. And then when you're dumping, you also want to be mindful of where you're dumping. Don't be dumping in campgrounds or in people's driveways or anywhere that could be disrespectful to others or nature. All right, well, thank you guys for taking the time to look at Van Diesel with me today. I hope you guys have a fun rental. If you guys have any more questions or you need any more assistance with the van while you're out with it, don't hesitate to reach out. Take care, guys, and drive safe.